Baruch Hashem. Shalom. Okay, I have requested about this video designed to talk about CUSH. Who is the CUSH? In modern day translation of King James Version, CUSH is Ethiopia. But ancient of times, Ethiopia never called CUSH, but Abyssinia, a different identity, different nation in the kingdom at that time. Aksum and Abyssinia was set apart, but is together in the same tribe within in today's modern day Ethiopia and Eritrea area, Tigray and Amhara, and Blue Nile. And let me tell you about who is CUSH. CUSH is the originally the southern Egypt down to Aswan to the northern Sudan in the cataract, north to the Khartoum in capital of Sudan, and never had connected to Ethiopia. And this area is called the Nubian state, also called CUSH. And as you know, the CUSH historically written in the Old Testament, and Isaiah 37:9. Let me refer to you. Now Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, Sennacherib received a report that Tirhakah, the king of CUSH, was marching out to fight against him. When he heard it, he sent messengers to Hezekiah with this word. And this one here, that is the Upper Nile region. Upper Nile region is the Blue Nile and the White Nile merge into one in Khartoum, and then become the larger Nile. It's Upper Nile is actually the southern part of Nile and Kush, dominated with Egypt as one country when this time happens. And let me continue to explain. Say to Hezekiah, king of Judah, do not let the God you depend on deceive you when he says, Jerusalem will not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. So the Assyria never had conquered the Jerusalem because of what the rumor heard, and the Sennacherib was frightened, afraid. He frightened back home to Assyria, and the story comes short that the king of Assyria, the Sennacherib of brutal. It took 10 tribes and took away from out of a 12, and that's still scattering today, the 10 lost tribe of Israel, because of Sennacherib, the Assyrian scattered them north to the east, to the south, to the west, and because of that rumor of the king of the south, who is Tirhakah. It is never mentioned, by the way, in Ethiopian history. This is known in the Nubian history. And verse 11, surely you have heard what the king of Assyria have done to all the countries, destroying them completely. And will you be delivered? Did the gods of the nations that were destroyed by my predecessors deliver them? The gods of Gozan, Haran, Rezeph, and the people of Eden who are in Tel Assar? Where is the king of Hamas, of the king of Arpad? Where are the kings of Lair, Sepharvaim, Hena, and Eva? So that the Sennacherib, the Assyria, was located in the northern part of Iraq today, and border with Iraq and Syria. And then the defeating all these enemies according to their um, you know, um, according to the Assyrians, the defeat, and then eventually they took all the country, the destroyed, and it was a powerful nation. And then Hezekiah prayed. Hezekiah received the letter from the messengers and read it. Then he went up to the temple of the Lord and spread it out before the Lord. Because of Hezekiah knows the God who made heaven and earth, and Hezekiah is a very righteous king, the king of Judah. And Hezekiah prayed in verse 15, and Hezekiah prayed to the Lord, verse 16. Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, enthroned between the cherubims, you alone are God over all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth. 17. Give ear, Lord, and hear. Open your eyes, Lord, and see. Listen to all the words Sennacherib has sent to ridicule the living God. Verse 18. It is true, Lord, that the Assyrian kings have laid waste all these peoples and their lands. They have thrown their gods into the fire and destroyed them, for they were not gods, but only wood and stone, fashioned by human hands. Now, Lord our God, deliver us from his hand, so that all the kingdoms of earth may know that you, Lord, are the only God. This is a righteous prayer of Hezekiah, king of Judah, southern southern tribe. And then Sennacherib's fall, verse 21. Then Isaiah, son of Amos, at that time the army also encountering with Isaiah. So the CUSH is known by the word that today the Nubian people, not Ethiopian, because of Ethiopia is not CUSH, okay? And the Sennacherib's fall, then Isaiah son of Amos sent a message to Hezekiah. This is what the Lord, the God of Israel says, because you have prayed to me concerning Sennacherib, king of Assyria. This is the word the Lord has spoken against him. Virgin daughter Zion despises and mocks you. Daughter Jerusalem tosses her head as you flee. Who is you? Who is it you have ridiculed and blasphemed? Against whom have you raised your voice and lifted your eyes in pride? Against the Holy One of Israel. But your messenger you have ridiculed the Lord, and you have said, with my many chariot I have ascended the height of the mountains, the utmost height of the Lebanon. I have cut down its tallest cedars, the choicest of its junipers. I have reached its remotest height, the finest of its forest. I have dug wells in foreign land and drunk the water there. With the soles of my feet I have dried up all the streams of Egypt. And Assyria, Sennacherib was the powerful entity that took away all the 10 tribes out of Israel, and then actually replaced with the uh, um, Mesopotamian people from Kir, which is located in the southern part of Mesopotamia, Euphrates River, brought them in and replaced the 10 tribes in the north, and brought the today the Iraqi people, and brought them to the central part of Samaria, and then that's what they call the Samaritans. It's a mixed blood of Jews and Gentiles, and this is mostly they are the descendant of, I mean, 10 tribe of Israel, 10 lost tribe of Israel, and today they are still there in Israel. But today the Jews coming back from the all over the world, the people from Ashkenazi, Sephardim, Mizrahi, they're descendants of Judah, Benjamin, and the Levite. And some are still missing. The 10 lost tribes are missing, and that's how the Assyrian taken away from the presence of the face of land of promise, and Assyria came down also to the Egypt, and then finally to the CUSH, because of what it's really happened is Sennacherib son. It goes back to the generations, and then actually the finalized the Tahaka, king of CUSH, is defeated, and then he left. He went and he conquered Egypt and dominated, but it was one kingdom, Egypt and Sudan. It's called the pharaonic Egyptian kingdom. It's defeated by Assyria, and Assyria started conquering the southward, and then Tahaka is a threat, and I think that the grave site is still not found today. And I don't know what happened, the way he died, but some people knows that the way he slightly north of the Khartoum, and so eventually, what happened to the Sennacherib is the Lord took revenge for Israel, and verse 36, then the angel of the Lord, the single angel, described the incarnate of the Messiah, Yeshua. The angel of the Lord went out and put to death 185,000 in the Assyrian camp. When the people got up the next morning, they were all the dead bodies. So the Sennacherib king of Assyria broke camp and withdrew. He returned to Nineveh. Remember the story, Nineveh? The Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. Remember that? But he went, and then the Ninevite repented, and fasting and repented. That's why the Ninevite saved in the Old Testament days. Verse 38, one day while he was worshiping in the temple of his god Nisroch, his sons Adoramelech and Sharezer killed him. Okay, they killed father with the sword, and they escaped to the land of Ararat, which is in Turkey. The Ararat is where the Noah's Ark was set when the flood was over, and it's hardened. his son succeeded him as a king. So Esarhaddon continued the legacy of Assyria, and it held to the CUSH all the way and chasing down to Sudan, and they finalized the kingdom of CUSH. At that time, uh, owns that the kingdom of CUSH was, I would say that um, taking a root out from the CUSH, which means that stop the breath of CUSH by Assyrians, so that um, didn't mention anything about Ethiopia or the Abyssinia. So it's a different identity. So that's what I wanted to mention to you today. The CUSH is not Ethiopia or Eritrea. CUSH is southern Egypt to the northern Sudan. Today is called Nubian people. Their language is Nubian, the different language than Ge'ez, which is spoken by Ethiopians. The Nubian tongue is sub-Saharan film. Ethiopian language is, I believe, the Proto-Semitic, so it's a totally different and understandings. And also the CUSH, the DNA is a J1, J2. It's a cross to Middle Eastern bloodline, and it's many Jews have a J1 and CMH Cohen model haplotype J2 as well. And probably when during the time of the Islamatized, the entire Kush was Christian country. Nubian were Christians, but their forced conversion into Islamic system, and also that the kingdom was taken to another. The Ethiopian kingdom, the Abyssinia was expanded, and it's also expanded the borderline into a Khartoum and a surrounding area, where also became the Abyssinia. But it does not mean that Kush. If you're still going to northern part of Sudan and southern part of uh, Egypt, there's a Kush, the Nubian people. They were holding the history, the Egyptian Orthodox Christian history, and the drawing paint that's dated back, and also the Jesus was painted, and the Nubian people, Nubian history, and I believe they are the descendant of a Jewish people, and Nubian people has the same DNA as the J1, J2, Cohen model haplotype, a type of the Israel has to be both religiously and part ethnically, the conversion is accepted, so that but none of Nubians are Christian nor Jewish. They are Muslim today, close to 100%. So that um, um, what I'm trying to say to you, identity of Kush was stolen, and even a King James version uh, written misinformed about Kush as Ethiopia. Um, um, there is no such things, and again, I want to tell you, some say, oh, the whole Africa used to call Ethiopia. No, this is nonsense. That the Greek used to call Ethiopia burning face, which means Ethiopia, but Abyssinia was title the country. So that just like you African, you're black. Um, if you don't know about Africa, there is a lot of tribes and a lot of divisions and countries and nations in that one continent. So you cannot able to distinguish if a Western European couldn't able to see the difference. Sad thing is the um, so how about the uh, I am not sure about it, but the Yemeni um, had helped the Farashamula tribe of Dan in Ethiopian Jews, and they were when the Mohammedans Islam took over the Saudi Arabia Arabian Peninsula, and then most of the Jews of Yemen were escaping to the Ethiopian mountains, and they intermarried with Ethiopians, and the Ethiopian Jews are the descendant of today's Yemeni Jews. Yemeni Jews and Ethiopian Jews are the same bloodline, I believe. And for us, they have three different types of Jewish there. I I I don't know much about it, because of their DNA, the E1B1B, and some are E1B1A. E1B1A is rather Nigerians, over 80% E1B1A. E1B1B is North Africans and East Africans, Somali, Ethiopia, around there. This is all the Hamitic lineage. But J1 and J2 in CUSH, Sudan, has the different genetic, there's a Semitic DNA, Khartoum Semitic DNA. So you can tell that totally the different ethnic groups in Africa. It wasn't Ethiopia, it was called Nubia. It was Nubian people, okay, to understand you better. So this is one thing I want to tell you. Hezekiah prayed, and important things that pray to one and only God who made heaven and earth, and he answered the prayer. And verse 36, then the angel of the Lord took revenge. And the angel of the Lord, who is the angel of the Lord, is single angel of the Lord. I believe that he was the Yeshua HaMashiach, divine. Amen. So I will be back. Okay, thank you very much, and God bless you. Shalom. Amen.